another episode of no episode. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night to all of my fellow STEM snobs. Welcome to another STEM Sunday. Cheers to 2 weeks of consistency. So my name is Imani, and here on Sundays, I like to talk about my collegiate and professional career in STEM as an engineer thus far, the different experiences that I've gone through, people that I've encountered, and lessons that I've learned. So today, we're going to be talking about people not liking you at work, and I have notes on my iPad, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. So before I get started with my little story time, I know it's hard to believe I have a story about this because I'm so likable. I'm gonna get started by saying, you go to a job to work that job, and that is it. I'm not telling you that it's not important for people to like you at work, because we all know that it is. Networking is obviously very important to your success in your career, in your field, at your company. But what I'm saying is, don't break your back trying to make sure that everybody likes you at work, because the reality of the situation is some people are just not gonna like you. It doesn't even mean that they're like racist. It could be they're intimidated by you. They know that you could possibly replace them one day. They just don't vibe with you. Like, don't break your back trying to make sure everybody likes you at work. Go there and do your job. If somebody is showing signs that they don't like you, as long as they keep it respectful, as long as you're still getting the information that you need to do your job effectively, at the end of the day, that is all that matters. So basically, I'll get into what happened to me. So I was introduced to someone as, kind of their understudy. I was supposed to learn from them, work with them. And my manager told me, like, hey, you're going to be working with this person really closely, so get to know them well and all that. So I set up some time to introduce myself. And I did just that. I said hi. I was super, happy and open. And I thought everything was cool. And then later on, shortly after that, I heard like whispers and stuff. And this is another thing that I'll say. Don't fall into office gossip and talk. If you hear stuff going around, you mind your business. Don't let a single negative thing about anybody fall out of your mouth, because at the end of the day, you will be the person that they pin it all on and the house comes crashing down on, because all it takes is somebody heard you or somebody told somebody else that you said whatever. But so back to my story. So I'm hearing whispers around the office that like this person doesn't like me. 3 people in total came to me and told me that this person told them that I did not like them, that they did not like me. Here's the thing with work, okay? You gotta stay professional all the time. Water and oil, let stuff run off your back. You don't want to escalate stuff that doesn't need to be escalated quite yet. You don't want to come across, in my case, as like a super confrontational, angry Black woman, although I love me some confrontation, I'm sorry. But so the first time I heard it, it was through like telephone. Like there was too much going on. The person that told me said that somebody else told them that that person told them. So I was like, okay, like that's too muddled. I'm not gonna take this and run with it. That's 4 different people that this message has gone through. Like, it's cool. I don't even know if this person said it, like whatever. Then the second person that came and told me, I didn't even interact with like that. And neither did the person that I was supposed to be learning from. It was random. I'm like, okay, so now you're just going around telling anybody that will listen that you don't like me, and for what reason? So I asked the person who told me, the second person who told me, and they were like,
oh, they don't really have a reason. They didn't really say or like explain. They just said they don't know about you. They're not that fond of you, like whatever.
And so then I'm like, you know what? Fine. You saying, oh, I don't really know about somebody. I'm not particularly fond of somebody. Like, that's your business. If you told somebody some information, 2 friends kikiing outside of the office, I can't get mad at you for that. It got back to me because your friend told, so they might not be your friend, But whatever. Second time, you know, you don't really know about me. You're not that fond of me. You know what? You didn't say you hated me. We'll just let it go. But then a third person came to me and was like, such and such said that they don't really like you. The third person that told me had been there for a while. So they said that particular person was kind of like that with a lot of people, or I don't want to say a lot of people, but like that was just in their personality. Like it takes them time to warm up to people and all that. And I'm like that too. So I don't fault anybody for that, excuse me. And I'm not mad about not being liked or anything. So it doesn't matter. Like it didn't matter to me that that is what was being said or that that was the personality of that person. What bothered me was now you're being unprofessional. And this is why I say don't get into the office gossip and all that other sort of stuff, because I was just taking what everybody was saying, making mental notes, and just, oh, you know, well, I don't know, giving them the benefit of the doubt. When in my mind, I'm just like, this person is crazy. Like, they don't want me to have to say nothing to them. But anyway, why are you walking around telling people you don't like me at work when I have done nothing to you? No, absolutely no. When I tell y'all, I asked every last one of my mentors what I should do in the situation. And that's why it's good to have mentors, older people who have experience in the industry. And I don't mean older, like a lot of my mentors are like in their mid to late 20s. I mean, like they have experience, they've worked, and like all that, they're real. All the advice that I got, like at the end of the day, I'm a little hard-headed, but whatever, we won't get into that. These were the different responses, because like I said, I have a lot of mentors that range from like calm to not so calm. So people were saying like, as long as you're getting the work that you need, everything is fine. Keep doing what you're doing. But see, the thing about it was, I would ask this person that was going around saying they didn't like me for work, information, to put me on meetings, take me with them to do stuff. And I wasn't getting a lot of that. So I didn't even know if I was getting the information that I needed to do my job. You know what I'm saying? So there was that response. And then there was another where it was like, if you're going to say something, because like I said, I'm a confrontational person. So I was ready to set up a meeting and talk about this. The other response was, you know, if you're going to do that, if you're going to confront this person, you need to go to HR and talk to them about everything so that they have a heads up, so that if this person tries to go and say like, oh my God, like Imani's so aggressive and she came jumping down my throat or whatever, then you have some sort of backup or whatever. And they also said like, you know, let your manager know. I've never had a super huge experience with HR where I felt like I needed to get them involved. And like I said, I really don't like to escalate stuff that can be solved with a conversation. I just feel like when you get HR involved, the only person that's gonna come out of it, the loser, is you. And let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if you have had a positive experience with HR. But any experience that I've ever had, I've heard other people have, whatever the case may be with HR, has ended up in flames. And I did not have time for that. The other piece of advice was like, no, you need to go talk to them and gently, you know, like professionally, but just be like, you know, I've heard some things from multiple people and all that. Like, is there anything that we need to discuss? Blah, blah, blah. You know, and the other pieces of advice were, you know, send out emails to everyone, like CC everyone, to just ensure that I'm getting the work that I need and the information that I need, and I'm being added to the meetings that I'm supposed to be on and everything. Saying like, hey, how can I support everyone, just so that everybody is in the know, and then like a manager or somebody else will see, oh, this person isn't engaging Imani, whatever. But that was all before the second strike, or at the second strike, okay? So I'm like, you know, I'm taking in what all my mentors are saying. I'm like, whatever. But then no, when the third person came to me, I was worked up. I was a little worked up. I'm not going to lie. I sent a very long paragraph to my father. And he was like, you know, he said the same thing. He was like, you're there to work, all the other stuff, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter who likes you. Missing the point. Like, the point is, at this point, that it's unprofessional. But you know what? I let it go. I let it go and I took a breath and I got up to go somewhere and I saw the person. We crossed paths, like we passed each other. So then I said, "Do you have a moment to chat?" I really was just gonna keep going, let them keep going their way. But I was like, no. Do you have a moment to chat? And they were like,
Yeah, sure. Like any free time on my calendar, you can schedule.
so I said, okay. So I scheduled some time. And then at that time, I walked over and I said, I didn't even say anything about what I had heard because I didn't want to hear what they had to say regarding the comments being made. I thought that that would be messy because then we got to talk about who we heard it from, and then your response is either going to be you didn't say that, so then now we really got to call everybody in here because either you're a liar or three people, four really, are liars, or you're gonna say like, yeah, I don't like you, which is fine, but I didn't know how I was gonna navigate that conversation inside of a cubicle in the office because like it's just unprofessional. Or you're just not gonna give me an answer that I want to hear, and I just didn't want to go that route. So I didn't even address that. I just said, talked about the project first. What can be done? How can I support? What information is there? What meetings are there? All that other sort of stuff.
Oh, nothing. I mean, well, I'm doing this. Like, you could come to this. But other than that, no. What do you want to get out of the project?
I said, to be frankly honest, I don't have a particular like goal with it other than supporting where I'm needed, learning what I need to know, and like my manager said, learning from you. So I said, we don't know each other very well, right? And they said,
Yeah.
and during the conversation, they're acting cool. Like they're acting like they have not been running my name through the mud through this office. So I'm like, yeah, and you are somebody with a lot of experience, knowledge on this particular project, product line, everything that I can learn a lot from. And I was told that I could, receive a lot of information from and tag along to stuff and all that. Like, I'm just here to learn. I'm forgetting, oh my gosh. But I was saying, like, and I want to have a good working relationship with you. And then I said, but I don't come to work to be liked. I don't care if people don't like me as long as I'm getting the information and the work that I need. What I was doing is I was just sending a message, because the thing about people that talk smack is that they know they've been talking smack. They might not know that you know that they've been talking smack, but they know. So I'm sending a message to you. I know that you have been saying you don't like me. So I'm letting you know that I don't come to work to be liked, and I don't care if you don't like me. I just need my work, okay? I'm here to do what I need to do for this project so that when my manager looks at my final presentation and is like, what did Imani contribute to this project? I have something to say. And they were like, oh, okay. And this was the response.
But, like, everybody wants to be liked. Like, nobody really doesn't care when people don't like them.
And I said, well, I don't. And they were like,
really?
And I said, yeah. So we finished our conversation. I went back to my desk. And then after that, I didn't hear anything else negative. So I don't know. And, nothing came up with HR. Nothing was a problem. And I'm not telling the story like I'm big and bad, like I went to go scare somebody. I'm telling the story and I'm getting frustrated. And it's been so long, but like it just really made me upset because I did not know how I was going to navigate that situation. And honestly, I think I did pretty well. Let me know in the comments what you think or what you would have done. But I think I did it well and at the right time, because if a fifth person had come to me talk, I don't know what I would have done. And I think doing it after the first go round, when it was just like, okay, this person told a friend in confidence, and then that friend told somebody else, and then that person told me, like, okay, now we're doing too much. And then the second go round, like, okay, you're just not fond of me, okay. But no, third person coming up, talk about this person said they don't like you. No. I don't care that you don't like me. I want to make it clear. Like, I want the message to be clear. I don't care if you don't like me at work, and neither should you. We're circling back to the message here, the lesson of the story time. You shouldn't care if people don't like you at work. But nobody has the right to throw dirt on your name any chance that they get and spread stuff around, because that's literally how you careers. That's literally unprofessional. It's unprofessional. But yeah, no, back to the message. It's important to be liked. It's important to network. It's important to have people in your corner. But as long as you're getting the work that you need to be successful at your job, everything else does not matter. And if it's an equal, I fully believe confrontation is the way to go. Just keep it professional, keep things documented. Make sure if you do get dragged into HR because they want to come back and say you know, pulled up on them in an alley and scared the mess out of them or whatever, like, you know what you're talking about, and you have a case, and like you can present it in a professional way, like don't say anything crazy. Just make sure that you're doing your work, you're reporting to your manager, and you're getting your job done. If it's a manager or a superior that doesn't like you and you know it, just document everything. Make sure that if you have to take it to HR, make sure you've got all your information, documentation, everything. You've got examples, timestamps, all that sort of stuff, and you have a case for yourself. And also, I feel like having a conversation with the person, even if they are superior, can be helpful as well. Like, don't be scared, okay? I know we're young, whether it's an internship, a co-op, your first job, you're just a young person in on a team full of people in their 50s, 60s, whatever the case may be. Don't be scared. You're an adult. You're an adult. You're working a full-time job. You have a right to be respected, not liked, but respected, and have a fair chance at doing your job well. If you have a manager, superior, supervisor, whatever, that doesn't like you, sitting down and not coming at it from like an emotional point. Don't go in there and be like, I wanted to have a meeting with you because I feel like you don't like me. Like, don't do that. Kind of similar to what I did, where you send a message with what you're saying. Maybe not exactly what I said because I was getting a little buck. I feel like I'm doing my job well because this is that and third. Let me know what you think. Let me know your feedback, because then you can hear maybe how they feel about you from their feedback. There's just ways to do it, but I'm all for having conversations. I'm a confrontational person. If you're not a confrontational person, I don't know what to tell you. I'll circle back when I figure out some advice for y'all. But if you have your own experience that you'd like to share with me and we could have a little kiki in the DMs, then follow me and message me at Imani with another I Caldwell on Instagram. I'd love to hear about it and talk about myself as well. Confidential, stays between us. And also follow the Cornucopia for all of your professional needs. I'm posting scholarships, I'm posting academic resources, I'm posting summer internships, co-ops, job openings for people who have already graduated, all sorts of stuff like that. That concludes another STEM Sundays. I'm about to go edit this down and see if I like have a STEM Sundays to post. So see you next week.